Hello everyone, it's Brian here. So, how are you all doing? I hope you're having a lovely Valentine's with your loved ones from wherever you're watching this from. So, thank you so much for tuning in and a very warm welcome. So, today let's talk about how the royal family's tactics don't seem to be working anymore. So, over this time, that is almost 3 years that I've been reporting about this family, I've noticed something that whenever there's a scandal, whenever there's something that has gotten so much attention, especially if it's something negative, they try to deflect by using either Harry and Meghan, that is, by pushing out negative stories about Harry and Meghan, or by sending Kate Middleton outside. Okay, in 2024, it didn't work as much because Kate wasn't seen anywhere. But last year and also now this year, although it's been 2 months, I've seen that happen. Only that people aren't buying these anymore. Well, of course, for Harry and Meghan stories, the negative stories, the public aren't buying that anymore. This is 2026, and with Harry and Meghan telling their own story, it has opened so many people's eyes. And then for that family pushing Kate outside, telling her to go on engagement so that people can focus on that instead of what is happening in that family, it's not working because whatever Kate is doing, people aren't even noticing. So, a few days ago, Kate Middleton's outing took place at a London primary school during Children's Mental Health Week, where she visited Castle Hill Academy in her role as patron of the children's charity Prize to Be. And people could not help but notice that this was just Kate's fifth engagement ever since the year started. Imagine, fifth. And we're now in like February, right? We've had almost 45 days since the year started, yet this was Kate's fifth engagement only. But I can say, in all honesty, I think this is the hardest Kate has ever worked. Looking at last year's calendar, by this time she had probably done like 1 or 2 engagements. So hearing that this is actually the fifth is very, very surprising. It's very surprising. And of course, people are calling this out. First of all, Femi Nagra wrote an article about this saying that Kate Middleton has only 5 royal engagement days so far this year. Yeah, it is shameful. And these are the same people who are being funded by taxpayer money. Yet, this was her fifth engagement. Shameful, right? And we all know why this is happening. With everything that is happening right now with the royal family, with the revelations about Prince William and his associations with people who are close to to Jeffrey Epstein, of course they need something to distract from all of that. They need someone to go outside and make people talk about them instead of Prince William. But it isn't working because I think what people are talking about the most right now is those things to do with to do with Jeffrey Epstein, Prince Andrew, and the likes, and all the ugly stuff that is coming out. So you can't really deflect from that. Anyway, according to Femi Nagra, they were like, the visit revived criticism about Kate's overall workload. Official palace releases show that since the year started, she has carried out only a handful of brief engagements spread across just a few days. Critics argue that this light schedule contrasts sharply with the scale of public funding and expectations placed on senior royals. Of course, and even anti-monarchy campaigners have pointed out that while the palace continues to emphasize quality over quantity, the numbers remain low compared to other public figures in national roles. Of course, and it just shows how lazy these people actually are. So Femi Nagra wasn't the only the only people who noticed this. There are also some people from the UK that called out Kate's laziness. For example, one tweet that has gotten so much attention on X is by someone called Miffy, who's from the UK. So he pointed out saying, she must be worn out. Snipping ribbons and holding flower poses is absolutely exhausting. And this tweet has gotten like 26,000 reactions on X. That's a lot. And majority of the responses are actually coming from people who live in the UK. Someone even pointed out that Kate had actually worn almost the same outfits that Meghan was seen wearing in 2022. See, Kate had worn a blue shirt and a blazer, and in April of 2022, during the Invictus Games in Hague, Meghan had also worn a blue shirt and a blazer while she was painting with kids. That is the Invictus kids. So you want to tell me this is actually a coincidence? I don't think so. Nothing about people in that family is ever a coincidence. Especially for someone like Kate Middleton, who was exposed last year by her stylist for following people who are close to Meghan on Instagram, and also her stylist, and also fashion brands that Meghan was wearing. So this doesn't seem like a coincidence to me. Kate is just someone who loves to copy time and time again, and she continues to do that every single time, even to this day. And yeah, let me read you a few comments from people. So someone was even like, don't forget all the servants we pay for royals in quotes to cook, wash, shop, dress, iron, garden, clean, etc., etc. They have nothing to do. Exactly. These people literally have nothing to do, yet they can't show up for engagements. They don't do the one thing that they have been tasked to do, just to cut ribbons and wave at people, right? And then someone else said, you forgot to mention how exhausting it is to go for cancer treatments for non-existent cancer. Yeah, right. And then someone else was like, don't forget all the cosplaying she does as well, because it does require a lot of studying to become the person you hate the most. Yeah. But they usually say, copying is the sincerest form of flattery, right? So Kate copying Meghan should actually be taken as a compliment in some way. But also, it's a bit ridiculous because Kate doesn't seem to like Meghan, but then she copies her every single time. It's off. And then someone else said, the pretense that she knows anything about child development is wearisome. Yeah. Of course, these members of the royal family just pick any project to work on. They never really care about what they do because it's most of the time just for PR. And I've seen that even with Kate's projects, I've seen that even with William's projects, even with Camilla's projects. Most of them are just for PR. It's nothing like, it's not like they actually care about those things. For example, Camilla's work with women who've been abused or something like that. Like, how does that even make sense, especially for someone like Camilla? For what she did to Princess Diana and for what Meghan went through in that family. Yet Camilla wasn't there to defend Meghan, was she? And yet she is here proclaiming that she actually cares about women and she is working to help women. It doesn't make sense at all. The only people who are genuine and have actually shown to be genuine are Harry and Meghan. Their work simply speaks for itself. Prince Harry's Invictus Games is amazing, and he's been able to help so many people through the Invictus Games, and so many veterans have actually spoken out and have thanked Prince Harry for the Invictus Games. And then for Meghan, advocating for women and even just supporting women-led brands, that is something that we have seen time and time again. It's not like she just came up with this project and it's sitting there. No, but that is something we've seen the other royals do. They just claim to advocate for this or are campaigning for this, but you don't actually see the work that they are doing. And then someone else was like, well, most of her day is probably taken up with polishing butt plugs, shooting things, and the like. Will also clear away dirty laundry at a push, etc. Well, maybe that is what Kate loves to do, but clearly she doesn't love to do what the public want her to. And then there's this comment that just got me laughing because why are you defending Kate? Someone was like, I don't know why people started this trend as if she was caught in an interview telling us she often gets worn out from one engagement. She has never complained about anything. She just simply likes spending more time with her kids like a lot of housewives or women out there do. Well, spending like 360 out of 365 days in a year with your kids, seriously, when you have work? Well, we have people who don't have the privilege to do that, obviously. There are so many people in the UK who pay taxes and expect these people to work. But these people don't have the privilege to do that because they still have to work like 365 days out of 365 days in a year. Yet the people that they pay the taxes to are expected to just sit with their kids, and the public should be like, okay, but she just has to take care of her kids. Well, that doesn't make sense to me. And then someone said, and yet she still isn't happy. What will it take? Well, maybe a lot is going on behind those palace walls. That is why she never seems to be happy. And someone else even said, coming up on one a week, not quite, but almost. What a whirlwind. I don't know how she does it. Well, I guess that is irony because one engagement a week is supposed to tire someone, really. And then someone else was like, nice work if you get it. Jump around, smile lots, and give a rose. Such a waste for the sovereign grant. Of course, it's such a waste. And as you hear, and as you've heard, most of these comments actually seem to be coming from people who live in the UK. So people are honestly just tired of seeing their taxpayer money going to waste, because this family, honestly, I don't think there's anything they are doing that is beneficial to the public. Tell me one person in that family, that is apart from Harry and Meghan, who's actually done a project that is worthy of being praised, or something that has been very, very impactful to the public in general. You most certainly won't name anyone, because there's no one who does that. All of them are just lazy. They spend taxpayer money on God knows what, and then at the end of the day they don't even deliver anything. So it's such a waste of taxpayer money, and honestly I pity the people in the UK. But bless your hearts for still paying all of those taxes to this family. Anyway, I don't know what you all think about this. Don't you think it's absurd to have someone do like 5 engagements by February, yet all of this money is being spent on that family? So let me know your thoughts, then I'll see you on the next episode. You all have an amazing time. Goodbye.